All right, should be good. Hey, Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Let me check this real quick. All right. Give me 1 second. Make sure everything good. All right. Hey, they can. Hey, I can hear y'all in the background. Okay, so you know. All right, so yeah, last night we had a Iskarite. We had 2 men come up to camp. We had an Iskarite and we had a Judite man. They came up and they were listening. And Benaiah, the elder Michael, the brothers, they were going into the MOTB. And how, you know, if you take that mark, you've picked your side. So when the Lord returns and you have that mark in you, which is the RFID chip, as we all know, you've put on the enemy's attire. So you're going to drink of that cup. That's written in Revelation, the 14th chapter. Okay. Now, the Iskarite guy, as we were going into it, he was kind of fidgety. He was rubbing his hands, you know, and he confessed to us that when he was in the military, that he had to sign the waivers and all of that, and they actually gave him the chip. Now, we got brothers in the military within Great Millstone. I'm sure they don't have that mark. You understand? So I would love to hear brothers, you know, that were in the military within Great Millstone. If that's something they were confronted with, how they dealt with it, you know. But yeah, you know that. And the guy believed what we were saying, and you know you don't want to crush nobody's spirit. You know, so he was like, you know, is that something I could, you know, repent from? And at the end of the day, if the Lord wants to deliver somebody, it's up to him. But it does say, man, you receive that mark, you shall drink of the wrath of the Most High. Okay? Now, the first thing that came to my mind, you know, I'm speaking as a man, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard his testimony is that even in our ignorance, before we knew the truth, me, all the brothers' testimonies I've heard, there's certain destruction that the Lord kept us from before we even came into the ministry, before we even got this truth. That he kept us from it because we were supposed to be teaching. We were supposed to be, you know, here doing the work. And the Lord didn't keep him. Now, the scriptures say there are particular spirits that are born in what? Born in vain. Let's go get that real quick. You know, there's some harsh things about, you know, the scriptures. And really, is it harsh? Because we don't know what that man did in past lives. We don't know. I know the Lord is just, though. Let me get this. Let me see. It's 2nd Ezra 9 in verse 22. And actually, I want to start up. I'm gonna jump down to verse 22. I want to start at verse 15. All right. This 2nd Ezra 9. 15, all right, it reads, I have said before and now do speak, and will speak it also hereafter, that there be many more of them which perish than of them which shall be saved. We know the majority of our people, well, they're going to be destroyed here on this side. And we're doing all that we can so that we're not a part of that number at the end of the day. But it's the majority of people, they're going to perish here on this side. They're going to fall victim to the wiles of the devil. They're going to get entrenched with the cares of this life. And they're going to be taken by it. All right, now, verse 16, it says, like as a wave is greater than a drop. If you ever been to the beach, you know, the Elder Menachem Zagba, you know, on Sundays when I lived out there, we would always go to the beach, have family day, you know, and we would venture out a little bit, but you can get out in that water to where it can overpower you. You just look at the waves sometimes, man, it's like, go to YouTube and type in tsunami videos. There's waves that can overflood a coastline, completely wipe it away. Okay, and a drop of rain could fall right now, and I wouldn't even know that it happened if it didn't hit me. So the amount of people that are going to be saved is going to be minuscule compared to the amount of people that are going to be destroyed and caught up in the destruction. Okay? Now let's jump down to verse 22. 2nd Ezra 9 and 22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. And let my grape be kept, and my plant, the elect, for with great labor have I made it perfect. You understand? So there's going to be particular spirits, man. They were brought here. He probably was brought here specifically to give us that testimony last night. Enhance our fear for the Lord and our gratefulness to be a part of the fold, and to get his testimony to you all. Even in your ignorance, if you think back and you're in this thing, there's certain things that could have went way left in your life before you got this truth. But the Lord kept it from going to that extent for the sake of you being intact, to do the work, to believe, to be delivered, hopefully, right? Because we're prisoners of hope. So that was the first thought that came to my mind when the guy came up with that testimony, man. Because we and just before that, what made him come out and say it, because we read Revelation 14. Let's go to it. Revelation 14, and I'll just get straight to it. Verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast. Now the beast is that conglomerate of nations, right? Look at NATO and the EU, and then the elite bankers, you know, they really call the shots over those leaders. All right, so the beast system, the infrastructure has been set up. All right, worship the beast and his image. All right, the image is what? The philosophies that he pushes, his way. Okay, hold on, baby.
Daddy.
Yeah, just go play.
Okay.
Yep, go play. All right. The philosophies and ways that he pushes, that's the image. And receive his mark, which is that charagma, right? To be branded, for that incision to be put in your flesh. You know, when you brand something, what are you doing? You're staking ownership over it. All right? So a majority of these people, they're going to fall in line with having Esau be their Lord instead of the Most High, thus becoming an enemy of the Most High. All right? Now, let's continue. I'm going to read it all the way through right here. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture, without mercy, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. In our flesh, you know, often the time, we want to have sympathy for people, because we don't see from a God's eye view. He knows what people have done every time they've been here on the earth. All right? He understands. He sees things that we don't see. All right? So with that being said, you know, I didn't want to crush the guy's spirit when he came up and he said, you know, oh, man, they gave it to me in the military. But he even broke down AI. Agenda 2030, he understood all these things. He went into detail about it, like he was, you know, like a presentation was given to him. I don't know if he knew that before he took that mark or after. And you know, someone say, well, you know, it wasn't, you know, there wasn't a time when the whole world was confronted with it, but he was confronted with it. It was something that was told to him to be into the military, and on top of that, the guy was still homeless, so he lost twice. So it's just like, again, the first thought that came to my mind is all the believers, all the elect, there's particular things, even in our ignorance, before we came into the truth, before we came into the ministry, before we knew about Yahweh Shem Yahushua in full. He kept us from so many things that could have destroyed us, because we were predestined to get this knowledge and to be here. There's some people that aren't kept from destruction because they're not allotted to that number. And it should strike fear in you, because that could be anybody. The Lord could allow anybody to destruction the same way he can allow anybody he wants to salvation. And of course, those people that receive salvation are going to be of the line of Israel. Makes me think of John the 9th chapter as well. That man specifically in John, at the top of John 9, was made blind for the sake of Yahushua coming along and healing him and being evidence that he was the Son of God. You see? There's people that everybody's stories are written. There's people that were written in the story to be destroyed, and there's people that were written in the story to be saved. Albarat says, we're part of that number, man. That's just what it is, you know. So, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who were pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.